What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today is a video that I think a lot of you have been waiting for. I've got the seats right here for Prospector Bob. I don't know if I told you guys or not, but I decided to go with the Durango seats that I already had, and I found a black 4th Gen center console. So in today's video, we're gonna mock them up, build the seat bracket, get it all ready to be mounted, and once we're at that point, we'll be ready to do the rest of the interior. Paint the dash, paint the trim, put the new carpet in, which I already have. This thing's gonna fly as soon as we get this part done. So if you're excited, make sure to like this video. Let's get going and start mounting these seats up. So this is how I figure out how high and where I want the seat at. Okay, you just need some 2x4s and 1x2s, something like that, so you can you're basically shimming it to get it right where you want it. So with this process, you have to be kind of creative. You have to be somewhat have an engineer mindset, I guess you could say. I know what measurements I have, and I've just got to design and build something that fits that. Again, it may not look perfect, but as long as it's functional and it accomplishes those measurements, that's all I'm after. So let's get making the base piece, and then we'll start making all the bracket up. Alright guys, here's my seat bracket. Let me show you. This turned out really good. Right there. This is solid. Alright guys, we've got the bases built, bolted down, ready to go. It's time to build the risers and start building the rest of the bracket out so we can get the seats mounted up. So let's get moving forward with it. Wish me luck. Alright guys, take a look at this. We're making great progress and it's turning out really nice. So you can see I've got the brackets for both sides done. It's only tied to the floor along that main C channel where the stock mounting bolts are. And then I just have to build the bridge across to connect them to and to mount the center console to as well. This is really exciting. It's progressing really well. I'm really happy with how these are coming out. Alright guys, now that we have the main seat mounts built, we need to build the crossover portion where the center console will mount to. That's also kind of the component that adds all the structural integrity to the whole mounting system. So let's build that. I'll probably build one brace off of that down to the floor. But once we build that crossover brace, I'll bring you guys back and we're gonna mock up the seats at that point, just to make sure everything is how we want it before we finalize all the welds. So let's get going on that and then we'll see what it looks like from there. Alright guys, so we got the bracket done. This was a little cumbersome. You may have noticed in the time lapse it sat up a little bit high. Actually off camera I came in with the grinder and cut about an inch out of it. It was a little too high for what I wanted, so I lowered it just a little bit and it's really nice now. So now what we have to do is we're going to set the seats on and the center console on, make sure everything's where we want it as far as how far forward, how far back, especially the center console. Make sure the shifter clears it since this is a manual truck. And cross our fingers, hopefully everything's perfect. Well, got some bad news, but I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to tell you guys what the news is. So I mocked up the seats and the seat bracket sits about 2 or 3 inches too far forward for what I wanted. So we need everything, you know, both seat brackets, the center console bracket, everything to come back about 3 inches. It's really not going to be that hard. I'm actually just going to cut these posts off, shift the whole thing back and make different posts, which means I probably could have gotten away without making this third mounting hole. So I may actually do away with that. We'll see. But for you guys, through the power of editing, I'm going to show you the final result of how I modify the seat bracket to make that adjustment. So here's one look of where it's at now. And I will make all these modifications on the count of 3, 2, 1, and there you have it. So I shifted the whole bracket backwards 2.5 inches on the base. I got rid of this front mounting location, didn't even need it, so we'll weld that back up. But it looks really good. Sits back 3 inches than what it did. Now I have a lot of touch up to do. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all the touch up on this, make it look a lot nicer than it does. I'm going to drill all the holes for the seats to mount to. I'm going to mount up the seats, and then I'm going to show you guys the seats all mounted up. The bracket won't be painted yet, but you'll get to see the seats all mounted up. So hang tight, we're almost there. Well guys, this has been a ton of work, probably 15 to 20 hours total, working in the heat, in the cold, in the snow, in the dark, in the light. Put a ton of work into this. It came out nicer than I was hoping. I had to make a lot of modifications between what you last saw and what you're gonna see now, but I'll explain that a little bit. But I know you guys are waiting to see the seat setup all in there, so let me show you. So here's the only flaw in this seat, so I'm just going to keep an eye out for another one. If I have to change the whole seat out, I will, or I'll just look for a base. This is the same base as the second gen seats as well, so they're not too hard to find. But here you can see, got plenty of room with the shifter for the 5th gen console in here. No issues. This obviously flips up as a seat as well. This is brand spanking new as well. It was pulled out of a brand new truck. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. This has been by far the most work I've put into one video, as far as the work I put into actually doing all this stuff and the editing process. So if you haven't yet, make sure to like this video so I know you liked all the effort I put into this. Next video, we're going to be painting the dash, the interior trim, the seat bracket we're going to paint. We're going to clean out the interior, get it all ready to go so we can get everything installed for the following video. So make sure you're following the channel. Thanks for all your support, and we'll see you guys in the next video.